So today I will discuss the new concept called counting. So choose the actions we can select n plus m ways in some rules. So in how many ways we can pick this P1, P2, P3, M1 and M2. There are n1 ways to do the first task. Hello everyone, welcome back to my new session. I am Shweta, Computer Science faculty, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, MYSURU. In my last session, I have discussed about basic problems on laws of set theory. I have explained the concept of laws of set theory and problems. So today, I will discuss the new concept called counting. In my today's session, I will discuss the following concept called counting, sum rule, product rule, subtraction rule and division rule. So what is the meaning of counting? Counting principle is also known as counting rule. So it is a counting rule is a way of figure out the number of outcomes in a probability problem. Counting is an idea and it is a way of doing something. So here in counting we can figure out the number of possibilities in a probability problem. It is a very important concept for probability and permutation and combination. So it is a basement for permutation and combination problems. In counting, we can find out the number of possible outcomes in a probability and we can find the way of chances in counting. So how many ways we can arrange the system, how many ways we can arrange the chairs and how many possible outcomes are there for this activity. So basically in counting, we are using multiplication rule. In counting, we have 4 rules, that is product rule, sum rule and division rule and subtraction rule. So first rule is this principle of sum. So this is called as sum rule. So in sum rule, how to find the possible outcomes? So if there are n choices, you just assume that if there are n choices for one action and m choices for another action and 2 actions cannot be done at the same time. So, if there are n choices for one action and m choices for another action, but 2 choices are not done at the same time. If it is n choice or m choice. In sum rule, 2 actions cannot be done at the same time. So, n rule or m rule. So, n choices or we have to select m choices of outcomes. So, 2 actions cannot be done at the same time in sum rule. So, we can represent the sum rule in n plus m ways. So, choose the actions we can select n plus m ways in sum rules. So, let us understand about the sum rule. We need to perform procedure 1 or procedure 2. So, we can perform procedure 1 or procedure 2. 2 actions cannot be done at the same time. In sum rule, there are n1 ways to perform procedure 1, n1 ways to perform procedure 1 and n2 ways to perform procedure 2. So, therefore, there are n1 plus n2 ways to perform procedure 1 or procedure 2. And here we can use or procedure 1 or procedure 2. Very important rule. Here we can use or is an exclusive or. Exclusive or means one choice or the other but not both. This is called as sum rule. Let us understand with an example problem. So first problem is pick any one item. So here I have an int P1, P2, P3, M1, M2. So in how many ways we can pick this P1, P2, P3, M1 and M2? This is your question. So pick any one item. So I will pick P1, P2, P3. So 3 ways I can pick P1, P2 and P3. And also I can pick M1 and M2. So totally 3 plus 2 is equal to 5 ways I can pick the items. This is called sum rule. So here you have P1, P2, P3, M1 and M2. So how many ways you can pick this P1, P2, P3? That is 3 ways you can pick. First P1, second P2 and third is P3. First you can pick P1, second P2 and third is P3. So you can pick this item one by one. So this is 3 ways you can pick P1, P2, P3 and M1, M2. So M1 and M2. So how many ways you can pick this M1 and M2? So 2 ways you can pick this M1 and M2. So totally how many ways you can pick all these items? So you can pick 3 plus 2 is equal to 5 ways you can pick this item. Very simple concept. In sum rule, you can pick any one item or another item, but not same. So this is called as sum rule. And next example, at the restaurant, there are 18 dinners. At the restaurant, there are 18 dinners with meat, 18 dinners with meats. First write all the given values and 10 different dinners with fish, 10 different dinners with fish and 5 vegetarian dinners. So 5 vegetarian dinners. How many dinners to choose from? So here you have 3 types of dinner, 18 dinners with fish, 10 dinners with fish and 5 dinners with vegetarian. So how many ways we can choose the dinners? So 18 plus 10 plus 5. So 18 plus 10 is 28. 28 plus 5 is 30. 3 ways you can choose the dinners. So this is called as sum rule. So you can use this method for finding the sum rule. So very simple concept. So here you can pick any one item or another item in sum rule. And next problem, Mary is wearing a lucky shirt today and she has to choose among 3 red skirts, 3 red skirts and 4 blue skirts to wear with the skirt. How many different outfit choices of one skirt does she have for the day? So how many outcomes are there? So she has 3 red skirts and 4 blue skirts. So 3 plus 4, she has 7 outfit choices. So 3 plus 4 is equal to 7 outfit choices she has. So this is sum rule. You just read the question properly. Easily you can answer to this question. First read the question. So here Mary is wearing her lucky shirt today and she has to choose among 3 red skirts and 4 blue skirts to wear with the skirt. How many different outfit choices of one skirt does she have for the day? So 3 plus 4 is equal to 7 outfit choices she has. So sum rule is called as exclusive, or whether you can pick one choice or another choice but not both the choices. So this is called as sum rule. So next is sum rule in terms of sets. How to find the sum rule in terms of sets. So already I have discussed union and intersection in operations on sets. So here how to represent the sum rule in terms of sets. The sum rule can be phrased in terms of sets is, so A union B. So mod A union B is equal to mod A plus mod B. So here A and B are disjoint sets. Why it is disjoint sets? Disjoint sets means what? There is no common element in a set is called as disjoint sets. There is no common element. This is called as sum rule in terms of sets. And the next rule we have principle of product. Principle of product. So what is this principle of product? A procedure can be broken down into sequence of 2 tasks in product rule. There are n1 ways to do the first task and n2 ways to do the second task. Then there are n1 dot n2 ways to do the procedure. So this is product rule. In product rule, procedure can be broken down into sequence of 2 tasks, n1 task and n2 task. So we can write n1 dot n2 task. So this is called as product rule. There are n1 dot n2 ways to do the procedure. That means n cross m ways. N cross m ways to perform both of these actions. To perform both of these actions, we have 2 tasks, that is n and m. So n cross m or n1 dot n2. So this is called as product rule. And we need to perform procedure 1 and procedure 2. But what we have learnt in sum rule? In sum rule, we can choose procedure 1 or procedure 2, but not both. But in product rule, we can perform procedure 1 and procedure 2 in product rule. So there are n1 ways to perform procedure 1 and n2 ways to perform procedure 2. Therefore, n1 dot n2 ways to perform procedure 1 and procedure 2. So here we can use and. N1 task and n2 task. But in sum rule, we can choose P1 task, procedure 1 or procedure 2. In product rule, we can choose procedure 1 and procedure 2. So this is the difference between product rule and sum rule. So here in sum rule we are using or, but in product we can use and. Let us understand this concept with an example. There are 8 daily newspapers. 8 daily newspapers and 5 weekly magazines published in Chicago. If Colin wants to subscribe to exactly 1 daily newspaper and 1 weekly magazine, how many different choices does he have? So how many different choices he have to subscribe exactly 1 daily newspaper and 1 weekly magazine? In how many different choices does he have? So Colin have 8 daily newspaper and 5 weekly newspaper to subscribe exactly 1 daily newspaper and 1 weekly newspaper. So he has 40 ways he can choose the newspaper. 40 ways. 8 cross 5. 8 and 5 or 8.5 is equal to 40. So this is called as product rule. So here I am using 8 cross 5 because it is product rule. And next problem, how many bit string of length 7 are there? How many bit string of length 7 are there? So since each of the 7 bits is either a 0 or 1. So what is the meaning of bit 0 and 1? So here the question is how many bit strings of length 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many bit string of length 7? So here I have 7 length. So since each of the 7 bits is either 0 or 1. Either 0 or 1. So how many bit strings are there? So totally I have 2 power 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bit strings means I can write it in a binary language. Binary means 0 and 1. So I will write 2 power 7. 7 bit strings length are there. So 2 power 7 is equal to 128 ways are there. So how many bit strings of length 7 are there? So here I have 7 length 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to arrange the bit string 0 or 1. So 2 power 7 is equal to 120 ways you can arrange the bit strings in a length of 7 bit. So this is product rule. And the next concept is product rule in terms of sets. So how will you write the product rule in terms of sets? A1, A2 up to AM are finite sets. Is it right? A1, A2, A3, A4, AM up to AM called as finite sets. Then the number of elements in the Cartesian product of these sets is the product of the number of elements of each set. So here I can find the product task. So the task of choosing an element in the Cartesian product is A1 cross A2 cross A3 cross up to AM. So by the product rule it has follows mod A1 into A2 into A3 up to AM is equal to mod A1 dot mod A2 dot mod AM. So this is your product rule in terms of sets. And the next concept is combining the sum and product rule. So already I have discussed sum rule and product rule. So in sum rule you can pick procedure 1 or procedure 2. But in product rule you can pick procedure 1 and procedure 2. So how will you combine the sum and product rule? Example, suppose statement labels in a programming language can be either a single letter. Listen carefully. Statement labels in a programming language can be either a single letter. So total we have 26 letters in our alphabet. So either a single letter or means plus, it is sum rule, or a letter followed by a digit. So totally 0 to 9 I can consider 10 digits in programming language. A statement labels in a programming language can be either 26 letter, single letter, or means plus a letter followed by a digit. A letter followed by a digit. So 26 plus 26 dot 10. So find the number of possible labels. So finally we can find the possible outcomes. 26 plus 26 into 10 is 260. So 260 plus 26 is 286 ways we can choose the labels in programming language. So here I am combining the sum rule and product rule also. This is called as combining the sum and product rule. The next concept is subtraction rule. So if a task can be done either in one of n1 ways or one of n2 ways, then the total number of ways to do the task is n1 plus n2 minus the number of ways to do the task is called as subtraction ways. If a task can be done either in n1 ways or n2 ways minus the number of ways to do the task. That is the concept in subtraction rule. Subtraction rule is also known as inclusion or exclusion rule. So how will you represent this subtraction rule in terms of sets? So A union B is equal to mod A plus mod B minus mod A intersection B. So it is n1 ways plus n2 ways minus the number of ways to do the task. So this is called as subtraction in terms of sets. Let us understand the concept with an example. How many bit strings of length 8? Bit strings of length 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many bit strings of length 8? So I have 8th length. Either start with 1 bit or end with 2 bits. Again, I will write the bit strings of 8 length 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Start with 1 bit or end with 2 bits 0, 0. Start with 1 bit or end with 2 bits 0, 0. So how many bit strings of length 8 either start with 1 bit? So here I have put 1 because it starts from 1 and the remaining bit strings are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is 2 power 7 is equal to 128 ways. So here the number of bit strings of length either that start with 1 bit is 2 power 7 is equal to 128 ways. Clear? And end with 2 bits. End with 2 bits means the remaining bits is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So totally 2 power 6 is equal to 64. So number of bit strings end with 00 is 2 power 6 is equal to 64 ways. So finally you have to find the number of ways to do the task. So finally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 starts with 1 and ends with 0. So how many number of ways to do the task? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 power 5 is equal to 32 ways. So this is 2 power 7 and 2 power 6 and 2 power 5 is the number of ways to do the task. Number of bit strings of length 8 that starts with a bit and end with bit 00. Hence the number is 128 plus 64 minus 32. 128 is 2 power 7, 128 ways plus 2 power 6 is 64 ways and minus number of ways to do the task is 2 power 5, that is 32. So answer is 160 ways you can find the possible outcomes in this question. So how many bit strings of length 8 either starts with 1 bit and end with 00 bit. So you can find the possible outcomes and also you can find the number of possible outcomes. So this is the procedure for finding the subtraction rule. And the last one is division rule. So there are n by d ways for division rule, n by d ways to do a task if it can be done using a procedure that can be carried out in n ways. So here you can use n is equal to mod a divided by d. Let us understand with an example. We have 6 colored bricks total. 4 of them are red, 4 of them are red and 2 are white. In how many ways can we arrange them? Very simple concept. This is division rule. If all bricks had the same color, the total of ways to arrange them would be, total bricks are 6. So 6 factorial. So total number of ways to arrange them would be 6 factorial. So how will you find the factorial? 6 factorial is equal to 6 into 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this concept already have studied in school time, right? So 6 factorial is equal to 720. 6 into 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You will get 720. And the next question is 4 of them are red. So it is 4 factorial. 4 of them are red and 2 are white. 4 of them are red. 4 red bricks have 4 factorial. 4 factorial is equal to 24 arrangements. And 2 white bricks have 2 factorial. 2 arrangement. 2 into 1. It is equal to 2. So 2 factorial is equal to 2. 4 factorial is equal to 24. 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 is 24 arrangements. So the total arrangements of 4 red and 2 white bricks. Total number of bricks is 6 factorial divided by 4 red bricks have 4 factorial into 2 white bricks have 2 factorial. The total number of ways is 15 ways. That is 720 divided by 24 into 2 is 48. 720 by 48 is 15 ways you can arrange the bits. So this is called as division rule. So you can use this concept for division rule, that is n is equal to mod A divided by D. So these are the main concepts in counting. This is very helpful for finding the Venn diagram and permutation and combination. So today we learned the concept of counting, sum rule, product rule and division and subtraction rule. In my next session, I will come with a new concept called Venn diagram. Thank you.